Really back on air. I must say that. Okay, it's
Welcome
good.
back.
It's good
Welcome
to
back.
go on leave.
And
Florence, how you
good morning.
doing?
Good
Good
morning to you. Very
morning.
beautiful morning to our listeners and our viewers at home. Welcome to another exciting Wednesday edition of the Mid Morning Show today. I'm so happy to be here and I'm happy to have you back home. I
Thank
missed you.
you. Thank you.
Oh,
I,
welcome.
I miss you a little.
A little. I take back my
A
missing. I
little.
don't miss you anymore. Welcome, welcome.
All right, so this is like the first month in Q2, and I would like to say to you that it's not over until it's over. And looking at 2026, it's as though the year started, with sneakers. Started running like I just want to reach December. I just want to reach December, but I'd just like to tell you that it is not over until it's over. So do not throw in the towel for the year 2026, and show that you make the most out of the year. So yesterday, our guest is going to join us shortly after we take this feature on career choice, personality of the week. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Happiness and success is career choice. Career is a word often used to refer to a profession, occupation, trade, or vocation. It could define what you do for a living, ranging from those that require extensive training and education to those who can perform with only certificates, as well as a willingness to learn. A career could mean working as a lawyer, a doctor, a carpenter, an electrician, a teacher, a barber, a mechanic, an engineer, a traffic warden, among others. Making careful and well thought out decisions regarding your career can increase your chance of success. For instance, the very crucial point in the life of every student is the senior secondary class, and it is at this point that they could assess themselves to see which course would be most appropriate for them to study at the tertiary level. Therefore, stringent care must be taken to ensure that the right choices are made. Many senior secondary school students are unable to properly select the courses that will be most appropriate and suitable for them to study in the higher institutions of learning. There are some factors that should be considered in order to measure the appropriateness of a career for a person. A career should be something that you love and find pleasure in doing, not stressful or boring to do. A career should be something you can effectively use your skill to make a right difference. With your inbuilt talents and skills acquired through education and training, you should be able to cause a positive impact in your career. A career should reflect a person's passion and interest before it could be termed as appropriate for him or her. Many people are dissatisfied with their careers and would wish they had never chosen that path. Their careers seem more than a prison than the sky they hoped for. This is because, most especially among other reasons, they chose the wrong career. A student's inability to choose the appropriate or suitable course to study in the institution of higher learning will likely lead him or her into a wrong career. The core factors that could affect a student's choice of career include his or her parents, teachers, and the society. Each of these factors needs to be tackled because they have the propensity to negatively or positively affect the student's choice. Parents play a vital role in the lives of their children. They have a great influence on every decision their children make in life, most especially in career choices. A parent may desire what they think is good or best for their children, and this may affect the child positively if he or she can cope with it. But if the child has other things in mind which he or she wishes to do, it will affect him or her negatively. This may result in the child not concentrating on the parents' needs and will not adjust positively towards the career. Many parents are not aware of new career opportunities and their scope. And when their children choose a particular career path which is unknown to them, they refuse to allow their children to proceed on it. Parents' high standards at times influence children to pursue activities they think will win the approval of their parents. In order to make your children happy as you guide them in choosing their careers, you need to spend quality time with your children as they move on in the next stages of their lives to know and understand the passions, strengths, interests, and skills of your children to enable you guide them efficiently.
There was something we planned to do while we were growing up. I would like to be this. I'd like to be a pilot. I'd like to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. And then you enter the uni. You were giving another course entirely. Okay, but that's not the case for today. I know that's very much sure that maybe our guest, wanted to study something and then he went for it. Okay, we have our guest with us already. We have in the studio Mr. Olawale Ajani. He is a career and cross-functional skill set and expertise, and he's a subject matter expert with CIPM Nigeria. Is a man that wears many hats. Okay, so good morning, sir. It's a pleasure having you on set with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
So, sir, before all this, the boy in you, the young Olawale Ajani, where did you grow up and how was the experience?
Okay, thank you very much. We lived in different locations due to the nature of my dad's job. So we traversed, from Kaduna to Lagos to Akure, then to Ibadan. Yes, so we lived in different locations because my father was moving from one. And when your parents move, you have to move and Ibadan.
So you were born in Kaduna?
I was born in Lagos Island Maternity Hospital, Lagos.
Okay.
Lagos.
Okay.
I was born 6th of July 1977 in Lagos. I would say Akure to Ibadan will be 4 years. I think 82 is when we came to Ibadan, and I started my primary school in 1983 at Christ the King Convent School 1, Agugu. Ibadan is a school around Oluyoro Hospital.
Okay.
Then from primary school, I moved to Loyola College, the prestigious Loyola College, Ibadan as well. Then from Loyola, I did a stint of administrative job. Then from there, I proceeded to IGMB, which is A-levels, organized by Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. So I did that in Ilorin. I did that in Kwara Poly. So I did for a little time, 7 months or 8 months. Then after that, I proceeded to Ogun State Polytechnic.
Lagos to Akure to Ibadan, then to Kaduna.
No, Kaduna was the initial.
Was it
It's initial, yes. Kaduna, Lagos, Akure, Ibadan.
Oh,
yes, in
okay.
that order.
So
yes.
You were quite mature and you knew that, okay, we were transitioning.
I was small. I was small. I was less than 4. I was less than 5. I was less than 5. Yeah. But, intentionality and consciousness makes you to ask questions and to, when you ask questions and you relate, then you have pictures, evidence. Where were we here? This, and your parents, when you are closely knitted, they tell you, a whole lot of things. Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
So between your parents, which of them were you closer with?
My parents, both of them.
What was your family like? Was it a large family?
We are 5 in number. Sadly, we lost one of us.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Amen. May our soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
So we are now 4. I'm second. I have an elder brother. Then I have a junior sister that followed me. Then I have my brother that followed my junior sister.
Okay.
So we lost our last born
Yeah.
sometimes. Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so looking at your parents, you said you're close to both of them, but I'm very much sure that being a boy child, there's this Oedipus electoral complex that you want to, be close to your mom. Would you say your mom is a disciplinarian, or your dad is the one that is more disciplined?
My parents are both disciplinarian, but my father is firmer. If he tells you sit there, you dare not, disobey his order. So it feels like you are in military and they tell you obey first. So that's yeah. But my mom too doesn't take, laxity and and all of that. So both of them, and today, we are all grateful to them. They are my number one fan. They shaped, absolutely.
At what point did you decide that this was the path?
Nice. So every time this question pops up, I will say, I see people that wear ties as corporate people. People that wear ties as corporate people. So growing up, I say, I want to walk where they not ties. But that's vague and it's very, broad. If you are in advertising, you not tie. If you are in real estate, you not tie. If you are in fintech, you not tie. If you are in oil and so most corporate ladder, you not your tie. So not so clear was my career path. But later, I said, okay, I like the banking, the finance sector.
So, sir, I know that you mentioned that you're the second born,
right.
And we've heard so many cases that the second borns are always, kind of stubborn in a way. All right, welcome back. It's still the mid-morning show, and we still have our guest with us, Mr. Olawale Ajani, a career coach, a management strategist, and a business administrator.
Yes, welcome back. And we're asking you in terms of
being the second child.
Were you stubborn? Were you nice? Were you kind?
Okay, I would say.
Were you throwing tantrums?
Rude.
No, I wasn't rude. But I would say, in a way, I'm stubborn in a way, stubborn positively. And when they say you pursue stubborn consistency, I'm stubborn with my goal. So when I said I will only attend University of Ibadan or no other university, I was writing my JAMB, and it's not that I was not getting score that can put me to, second tier or third tier or fourth tier, universities. But I said, no, I want to attend the University of Ibadan because of the pedigree, because of, so I'm stubborn for positive.
Well, let's take a detour.
reasons.
Growing up, I'm sure you had some childhood experience whereby you were maybe, not say bully, but, the fact that probably in your secondary school, that stubborn nature would have, a part to play. So let's talk about that.
Okay. If we go that way, if you call 4 out of 5 people will tell you I'm just, calm and
really?
Yes, I'm not. Yeah, I don't go for something that will put me in troubles. I don't do stuffs like that. Yeah.
So you're not that second born that stressed their parents?
My parents, yeah, I never stressed them. I never stressed
Oh,
them.
you say that because it's coming from you. I'm sure if you have your parents being heavy, they will tell us that.
Yes, I'm saying openly. They can be asked that. Oh, did I stress you or something? I don't think so. Except for I remember one day I picked my mom's car and I tried to move it and I bashed it, and she was actually going for an interview. She came home to pick some documents. I said I should go and bring something from her car, and I started the car. You know, I didn't put the gear in. I didn't engage it to neutral, and I bashed the car. And you know, my mom was not mad at me. She only told me, when your dad comes back, yes, you will. So I have parents, I have understanding parents. Even when they see you going, my dad made us to train up a child in a way it should go, so that when he grows, it will not miss, you know.
It will not depart.
It will not depart from Proverbs 22:6. I think I kept it in my wallet for more than 20 years. So that's the kind of conventional upbringing, you know.
That you had.
Yes, I had.
Okay, so you said that at first you did IJMB.
Yes.
And then you went to
Ogun State Polytechnic.
Ogun State Polytechnic, and then you went to Ilorin, Kwara Poly.
Kwara Poly, yes, was A levels.
Okay.
Then Ogun State Polytechnic, I studied mass comm.
And that was because you were not very, very good at mathematics.
At mathematics, yeah.
Okay, so at first, what exactly did you want to become in life? Like you dreamt of becoming, and then I also noticed that at University of Ibadan, you studied archaeology
And anthropology for first degree.
Exactly. So this career choices, how will you say linked to each other? How do they link each other? Yes, because looking at this and that, you know, having a bit of knowledge of everything, you know, how would you say makes it wholesome? Those career that you decided to venture into?
Okay, good question. So, like I said, I love people that are not Thai. And I said, I want to work where they're not Thai. So I wanted to be a banker. I wanted economics. But without a credit in mathematics, you can't get economics. So I said, okay, I'm going to, you know, go for either political science or sociology. That's after I studied mass comm.
Okay.
So I did 3 semesters in mass comm. When it comes to eloquence, I know, you know, I'm eloquent, and if you put yourself on SWOT analysis, you will realize that you have weakness and you have strength. So why don't you concentrate on your strength? Yeah. So basically, I want to go out. Yes. And I'm saying we actually smashed a record of like 29 years in my department for my set.
Wow.
Yes. So that's how, you know, excellently, you know, good we did at the undergraduate. But I now went for masters in sociology because that's what I wanted. And you know, because anthropology and sociology, there's a link, you know, between the two. So I was able to go for what I wanted in first degree at the masters.
Okay.
So which of all these career options are you most proud of? Which one are you the happiest with? You're happy you got that degree in that particular?
I think the Masters of Science in Sociology.
Sociology.
Yes. When I went to do masters, I served, and after I served, I think I was applying
Where
for
did you
jobs.
serve?
Plateau State.
Oh,
Yes, but not Jos.
Oh.
I only did my 3 weeks orientation in Jos.
Okay.
I was from Jos.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you spent
Like 8 months.
8 months.
Yes.
So life in Ilorin, how was it? You know, the fact that you've been in Ibadan and went to Ilorin, how was it there?
Okay. I think the diet, it's a bit different. Okay, there was a time I took brown beans down to hostel, and they said, where did I get this type of beans? So they are used to the white, yes, the white one we used to make moi moi. But there, white is their common beans, so that's diet. Their way of life, yeah, it's, you know, it's just, you know, similar to what we have in the Southwest. Their marketplace, they are good people. They are good people.
So did you make friends at a point? And
yes, I made friends at a point during A levels, and some of them till today we are still, you know, in contact.
Okay.
Because I like to ensure that I don't burn bridges, and that I ensure sustainable relationships. So I do that a lot. Today I have WhatsApp for my primary school. I have WhatsApp group for my secondary school. I have WhatsApp group for my first degree. I have WhatsApp group for my master's. I have WhatsApp group for Fit Foundation. For everywhere I've passed, and people, oh, you want that person's contact, or reach out to Wale. Wale will, pass that across.
How do you manage to stay in touch with everybody, regardless of so many
It's grace and commitment. I think it's grace and commitment. Too many people want to have a friend. Tolu Adeleke says, what you are doing at Loyola, I can't do it. you know. So we should understand that our calling and purpose differs. Even twins, Taye and Kehinde, the purpose of Taye is different from.
We're trying to, study sociology, and maybe that was for masters, but for the BSc, and you add another course. Weren't you discouraged? Like, let me just give up. Let me just go for something else, or let me just opt out of all these dreams that I'm trying to achieve. Maybe when you left Ilorin, and then you went for another course again, and you were just trying to hit that note of victory. At what?
I'm an incurable optimist. I don't believe there's a mountain I cannot climb, and most people that know me will tell you same. But my greatest force, my dad, Chief Atolagbe Yola Ajani, as at the time, I wrote my fourth JAMB. The third JAMB was not even released at all. So my dad has always told us, Polytechnic University, I prefer you to go to university, because it's a product of Polytechnic. It's a public service, private service, I prefer you to go to private sector. My greatest mentor is my dad, on my side, and most of my colleagues at the secondary school, were in the final year when I was going in. So I was a senior student as at that time. I was seen it sit on interview table, all my life. I can't remember how many people I've interviewed in my life anymore, either physically or remotely, virtually. Yes, I sit on a lot of interview tables as a consultant and in-house agency. So it's not the course anymore. It was the course in our dad's or our mom's, time. But today, the course we don't even know. If you say Silas Adekunle is the highest paid robotics engineer in the world. So are you going for the in-demand relevant courses? I'm going to study classics. So who needs that? But in a time, that was the
exactly.
So you have to go. Is it robotics, linear, data science? The courses that that you do, maybe in 2 years, you are very proud of yourself, and this, I'm needed here, I'm relevant here, I can do this, I can do that. And we come to a time that Google said college performance is a poor earning predictor. College performance is a poor earning predictor. So you might see a first class that crammed and poor.
Exactly.
And you are engaged in a conversation, and it's very mediocre. So it's not what is written on the paper, that matters. It's what is saying.
Intelligence.
What is saying. So intellect is key. Is key.
You seem like a very strong, opinionated individual. What's that thing that you strongly believe in, despite unpopular opinion?
I believe in yourself, irrespective of what people say. You have to believe in yourself, and truth will always remain the truth, which is veritas is the motto. Our motto at Loyola College, the truth. Stand by the truth always. Even when they say, oh, you are going to be demolished, or, stand by the truth always. I don't know, because if you tell lies, when it backfires, you'll be stuttering, and but if you tell the truth always, you can stand anywhere and say, okay, I've said the truth, and it's going to be the truth. So I stand with the truth always. Yeah.
Okay. So while in University of Ibadan, and you were, I'm sure you were engrossed in your study, what were those things that you did for fun? Maybe you were in a social club, or maybe you did school politics. Which one exactly? Or you were just engrossed with your book?
Okay.
Are you a comrade?
So I did many things. Proudly I didn't do the negative things. Yeah? Even when they come to you, we like you, want you to come and become a, yeah. Follow your heart, follow your intuition, and you already know where you are going to get to. So as at the time I was leaving first degree, as the best graduating scholar in my option, I was editor-in-chief of Environment Ameliorators. I was sports editor, featured editor for ASA. I was Environment Ameliorators Constitutional Review Committee Chairman. I was class scribe for 413, 422, 429. I was field supervisor for 312, 412. I had the highest leadership position as at the time I was living.
Mention something on sports as well.
Yes, my dad didn't make me to become, that's the only, he didn't make me to become it. He said, in the primary school, why did they write he was a member of the school's football team? They didn't put, you were a prefect. Why didn't they? My father loved academics a lot, yeah? So, but I believe in all-round education. For me, if you can play basketball, play. Okay. I think my dad also played soccer, but not, not to that level. All the boys in my family, we love football a lot. I still, try to play, not active, but I still try to play, football. So I think I received like 7 awards at our dinner, at our final year, most popular, So I was not only academics alone, because it has a corollary effect when you go out. Today, a lot of soft skills that you require. You need social skills. And this is what takes you up the ladder in your career. So like I told you, if you have a first class, it's not sufficient to say, on this job, you will be outstanding. No. If it's a customer, focus, client-facing engagement, you have to make presentations, you have to communicate, you have to solve problems, you need emotional intelligence, and all of that. Yeah. So our advice, don't go to school to just be hostel, classroom, and don't. It's not, in the 70s and 80s, fine. But in the 21st century, you need to be a polymath. Yeah. Know a lot about many areas. How many books are you reading in a month? How many are you reading in a year? So the leaders of this world will say, we are reading 4 books in a month, and that makes 48 books.
So what would you say are your hobbies,
I like reading a lot. I have a massive library, library, yeah. I like reading, I like shopping, I like traveling. I've visited few countries out of Nigeria.
What's your favorite destination?
Sort of. I love Dubai. It's a nice place. I went on training. Nice place. Neat, nice, beautiful environment.
Okay. So being a career coach, I'm very much sure, like you said, you love reading and you have a massive library. Yeah. So being a career coach, and most people that we have now would say, there's even this saying that if you want to hide something from an African man, hide it in a book. You wouldn't see it. So how do you encourage people, to read? The reading culture is very poor, I must say, because we are so much in love with our phones, social media and the likes. So how do you encourage, when you're coaching, how do you encourage entrepreneurs to, read books, to widen their vocabulary?
Okay, brilliant question. Saturday and Sunday, I was on a virtual session for senior managers, and for 4 hours per day. And on the chat room, I think I dropped like 14 books. So for me, if you're under my voice, maybe the coaching session or in a training session, there's no how I won't recommend books for you, right? And I'm talking relevant books. Okay. So if I take leadership training, I'll recommend leadership, books. If I take strategy training, I'll recommend strategy books, right? If I take soft skills training, I'll recommend soft skills, related, books. If I take sales training, supply chain, I'll recommend, relevant books. I can agree less. The reading culture in Nigeria, I think 3 critical things has even made it worse. One is popular culture, 2 is social media, and 3 is hyper-reality. So if the likes of Pella can say, I just bought 58 million G-Wagon, and that's what the frenzy, everybody is, you know, we're becoming more mediocre because we are lost in, you know, ephemeral things that we follow. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to be I said, what are you influencing? You are empty. You want to. You are empty. You are empty, and you see. Yes, and that's the background we all come from. I find that money is not everything. It's good to have money, but money is not everything. So that's why we have too many empty people that they will even say they have garage in their living room. I parked Ferrari. I parked.
Lambo.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, it's the other side of you know, the world where we find ourselves now. You follow Instagram, you follow this, but what are you doing there? It's very important. You need to ask yourself, yeah, what's my beat here? What am I? Everybody goes to the market, but we are not going to buy the same stuff. You like Semo, this person likes you know, Poundo. So you go to, but you have to be intentional. You need to see the big picture, and you need to see the end from the beginning. It's very key. So if anybody says, oh, you will become, you know, a career mentor, a career coach, or I will say, I'm not moving in that direction. But every opportunity you say, like Bill Gates, you know, said, you need to seize it. So this is not the course I wanted, and I made a pass. So who's going to give me opportunity to even come and enter? What did pass? No, they said, the minimum requirement to apply for this role is second class upper. If I don't have it, I don't have that, you know, chance to go. Seize every opportunity, you know, that you get. Even if it's not what you want yet, just keep, you know, keep going. People have been, you know, janitors. People have been office cleaners, and they rose to become managers, you know. So that's how to think. Life is transient and it's progressive. So what efforts am I making today that will take me to where I want to be tomorrow? Not that I just fold my hands and I said, okay, I'll buy a Range Rover. That's just building your castles in the air.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to be intentional and purposeful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Working with people can be very challenging.
Yeah.
Yes, and you work with a lot of people. What are the challenges that you face in your work, and what's the most rewarding part of being a career coach?
Okay, 2 questions.
Yes.
Okay, let me tweak it. Let me take the second one first, and I'll take the first one last. Is that fine?
Okay, yes.
Okay. The most rewarding part of being a career coach or human resource professional is the impact you make. The impact you make. So people pick up their phone. Mr. Jani, thank you very much for prepping me for that interview. I got a job. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. And this started even when I was in school. I do tutorials for my colleagues. So they just choose, I'm coming 4 to 5. I'm coming 5 to 6. I'm coming 6 to 7. And it gives joy. You're not making money from. I volunteer for many, you know, institutions, which is not paid. Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Foundation, Faith Foundation, Leap Africa, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is volunteer. And that is what I want the youth to see. How much sacrifice are you making for others? Light up other people's candle. Your own is not going to go off. Make impact, then people will write a story. We are talking about Mandela. It's not the size of the house he built or the size of the car he drove while he was with us. Mother Teresa, maybe she never even owned it. But today, what kind of lace? It's sad that we have complex problems like maternal mortality. So it's important to say, impact you make in life. Jackie Robinson said, a man's life has no importance except in the impact it has on other lives. That's my best quote. Am I able to, you know, pull you? Because some people are also there that pulled me, you know, up. That's the first. The second question that I answered first.
Okay.
So the first question, can you bring it up?
The challenges that you face.
Okay, working with people.
Working with people.
Okay. As an HR professional, we are trained that there's no caliber of people. You have to, manage everybody at work, resolute conflicts, build capacity, solve problems. I think at work, everywhere, in the 9 to 5, and being a consultant now, I really don't. I like to be understood first before I now get to understand, the person I'm dealing with. I think fair enough. I've not had even managing difficult people, at work. You must devise, a means, in which you motivate. If you don't motivate, then you demotivate. And if you demotivate, your team will go down.
Dive, yeah.
Because you are as weak as your weak link, and you are strong as your strong link. Yeah. So I think managing people, because and I'm talking diversity. Managing that don't even speak your language, on projects, people from diverse background, you must understand. And I think anthropology really, did a lot for me to know how to deal with people, irrespective of high, mid, low. Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where someone comes in to consult, and then you give them advice, and they still do the opposite? How do you deal with people like that?
People have opinions. Like when we say in consulting, the client coming knows 70% of what is coming to meet you.
So it's informed decision.
Yes. So you only want to prefer 30 to make 100, to the person. So this happens different times. You just have to, have it at the back of your mind that in black and white, what you have actually preferred is a professional, service, and you have defined it. So at the end of the day, if it boomerangs, you have, this is not what, I actually recommended, for you to do. Because there are different factors that makes people not to follow what a consultant will. Might be funds, it might be expertise, it might be a lot of factors. Yeah. So that happens from time to time. But you won't feel bad. You just have to, go on. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's go on this break, and when we come back, the Mid-Morning Show still continues. Welcome back from that break. It's still the Mid-Morning Show. And our personality of the week this morning, Mr. Olawale Ajani, a career coach and a consultant. Welcome back, sir.
Okay, so sir, looking at your life generally, what would you say is the happiest day of your life? Is it complex?
No, maybe sometimes you have maybe multiple happiest.
Okay, let's have this.
Okay, so maybe one is the day I graduated top of my class, University of Ibadan. Another is the day I had my daughter. think those are. I think
Those two?
those comes. Yeah,
What have
they're
you-
happy. They're happy days, but those are happiest days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
The day you became a father of a girl child.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about being a father, how did you meet your wife, and what made you say, I'm going for this one?
Okay, we met at NYC.
Oh,
NYC.
so people still meet couples in the house, I know.
Yeah, 22 years ago.
Wow.
22 years ago. And though we didn't know, in UI, motor, outpost and, and stuff. So coming to do masters, I encouraged, we were all looking for jobs, applying, almost getting and all of that. So within this time, one can put in for a master's degree and all of that. So I encouraged, which we, put in. We were now in the same hall of residence.
Oh,
Obafemi Awolowo hall used to be a co-hall, so it's both female and male. But now I think in UI it's now only just one. So it all started from
there.
Yes, from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need more. Like
How
how?
about your wife?
Yeah, my wife. She's
After
a
you
researcher.
started masters and then you got married. Like,
Yes.
how many years did you court?
Courtship was like 2 years.
Okay.
Like 2 years.
Okay.
Then we got married 2009. Yes, 2009. Yes, 6th of June 2009.
Wow.
Yes. And our marriage is blessed with a daughter.
Wow.
Yes. And she's
Okay.
I was going to ask, how do you balance, work and family life and keeping all your contacts and activities that you like?
Yeah, it's important. Family is key because everything, it all rises and falls on family. So family is very important. You have to, from the upbringing we had, even when my mom was not with us, dad will pick us from school, drop us at home, go. He worked here. So my dad used to work here. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, he was the first transmitter engineer here in
Wow.
Yeah. So my dad worked here and he went to OSBC at Oshobo. So this is what we preach, family life balance. You need to balance it, yeah? Because home should not suffer because of career. Career should not suffer, because of home. So you have to balance, all of this and ensure that the very best, is what you are giving when it comes to your responsibilities and duties.
Would you say that the same way you were brought up is probably the same way you're trying to raise your child?
I'm doing my best. I think I think my parents were phenomenal. They were phenomenal. Things happen. Social change has made a lot of things to, So if you say, oh, you've gone in the morning and you're coming back, the nature of work, gig economy, is not allowing us to do what I'm not sure we can meet standard of what our parents. No, they're phenomenal. That's how I define them. They're phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay, looking at your portfolio, looking at everything now, I could see that, and you also mentioned that you love traveling.
Yes.
So, traveling from a particular state to different, how do you keep the fourth? How do you keep the home front, running? Being a father, putting your presence, in the life of your child, and also being a husband. So, how do you balance everything?
So when you go, you have to return. That's the simple way it is. Because you are going to cater for the family, right? So when you go, you have to return. Then thank God for mobile telecommunication. You can do video call, you can do voice call, you can, it's not like in my dad's time that when you write a letter, or you send telegram, it's until the person, comes back. So you just must ensure that home doesn't suffer, whatever needs, that is, you must make adequate, provision for what is required.
Okay.
Yeah. So traveling, you have to get back, and they are also, waiting for you to come back.
Some of these trips, are they like family trips? Do you get to go with your child, your wife?
Maybe once the Accra trip, we went to training with my wife together with the Accra trip. But most times, they are work related, and maybe consultancy, briefs. Like in the month of October, I was in Bonny, I was in Port Harcourt to conduct a performance evaluation audit for an energy company. So go by water, fly, go by road. Is the nature, is everybody has their calling. So you can't tell a pilot, how many miles are you? He said, that is what gives me my daily bread. Yes. I can't stop you from doing this you are doing as well. Because there will be guests that you invite again and you are still going to, interview them. So plumber, please plumb well. Driver, drive well. And doctor, you need to doctor well.
You've said a lot of things, that a lot of mantras that you hold dearly. And which one would you say you run with every day? Like you constantly remind yourself, I run with this mantra. And maybe someone out there would maybe pick one or two things from there.
But from another, author, Jack Welch said, if you don't define your destiny, someone else will. So don't be someone that is just, easily just pushed around and stuff. When you don't know where you are going, anywhere will lead you, to the place. So you need to be purposeful and intentional. So life is about impact. That's the most important, aspect of life. I remember there's Femi Popola that was one of my guys here. Maybe you have heard it. Yes, they call it Nonjo Ibiriosa, So while I did 3 months IT here. I did my 3 months IT here. And Mrs. Femi Peluola and then Prof, all those people. So he called up a script, yes. So he was saying, he thought I will mispronounce some of the words, that was. So then he just, he connected, with me and stuff. So this life is about people and impact and places. So meet the right people in the right places and ensure that you leave a legacy, which is impactful. And people will say, there was a Mandela that ruled for 4 years. And also say, they have another opportunity to rule for another. And he said, no. There are over other 63 million South Africans in this nation. That 4 years is good. And that's someone that lived 27 years in prison. He will have been, very thirsty for power and say, maybe he wants to be like Oma Bongo or Eya Dema, Nasingbe Eya Dema. That's like 39.
Exactly.
How can you have one leader for other, give others, a chance. So I don't believe that you need to, be autocratic or you need to force your opinion on, on others. It's better to be collaborative and, make the right impact at the right time. So don't joke with people, places, impact.
So you mentioned that we should not joke with people, and sometimes people attend events, to network, and they don't really know how to do it. Being a career coach, I'm sure you know how to handle networking people and how to, keep contact. Because sometimes you go to these events, you just meet this person, I would love to take pictures with you. Some people would do that. They have the picture, they have the person's number, and it ends there. Yeah. So how do you network? How should people network?
Okay. It's very critical to future-proof networking. You need to future-proof networking. So you go to an event, industry event, conference, seminar, workshop, whatever it is. If it's business related, even if it's academic related, you need to go with the right tools. So go with your call cards, go with your complimentary cards. And, spot people that you want to. You have 5 hours session at the conference or workshop, and you tell yourself, I want to network with 10 10 people. So how do you decipher the 10 people you want to network with? Start with why. That's
Okay.
a book authored by Simon Sinek. Start with why. So your why will tell you, oh, I need business from aviation. I need to discuss with. I need business from construction. I need to discuss with this person. If it's open stuff. Or I want to go into this organization to get, this guy works with Dangote. And I've been trying to, get business in Dangote in the last 4 years.
Let's do with the names.
Yeah, something like that. So you can, it's better to take your, tools. It can be your call cards and know the right person, and the amount of time. If you stay with one person and you spend 2 hours, how do you get to 10 people? So
I
you need
wouldn't
to
meet
schedule.
someone and be talking for 2 hours. But someone get bored, and they're like, you're dismissive.
If you don't talk about business, you won't get bored.
Really?
Yes, now.
Talk for 2 hours. I'm meeting you at an event for the first time, and I'm talking for 2 hours. What?
If you have
You
lots
might,
in common,
you might have something, that you are discussing and that is keeping you, yes. But you won't do
But
that.
is it advisable to do that?
No, it's not. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not. You need to, network, with different people,
Work
depending
together.
on, what opportunities, you are
Trying
looking for.
So everybody's looking for jobs. It's like there's shortage of job out. What common mistakes do you see people in search do?
Okay. Getting a job is a job itself. That's a book written by Arusa Osawenge.
How many books do you read in a day?
In a day.
Because it's as though you have,
an hour.
and the fact that he has a retentive memory,
Yes,
to
retentive
remember
memory.
those books.
It's grace.
And
Author, everything that
It's
is about.
grace. Yeah.
it's commendable.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Job seekers.
yes, in the last 7-8 years, career fair and employability boot camps have taken a lot to different universities, both private and the federal, as it were. Your CV is very key, and people don't even know how to write a professional CV. It starts from there. And, today, in the .com era, you can Google and say, how do I write a professional? If you don't know how to cook jollof rice, tell Google or YouTube, it will. We have tools that can assist us, now. So CV, cover letter. Most job seekers, I'll say, are you on LinkedIn? He said, no. Are you on Facebook? Yes. I say, you are not where you are supposed to be. You are in the wrong environment. LinkedIn is where you are supposed to be, where the recruiter is looking for, how did you structure your profile? What have you done? What are your experience? What are you doing currently? What are your certifications? And all of that. So it's key to say, having a professional CV, having a professional cover letter, having the right LinkedIn profile, and having a coach, a career coach or interview coach is very key. So people attend interviews and, they go south. Either, they have frights or they're not well prepared, or when you see some interviewers, everything you think you even know sometimes flies. It just
Their brain freeze.
and that's why when we start, we say, please just, take it easy.
Yourself.
It's not, yes, this is just an interview. We just want to meet you. We want to get to know you better and whether you are a fit for this role and for our organization. So you need to settle the person in, very well, and that's
So
key.
the recruiters has a part to play it also.
Absolutely, it's a multi-stakeholder approach. Yeah, you do. So, employability is becoming very key. You gain the job, you are able to sustain the job. Is employability. You understand? So having a first class and having a nice crafted CV doesn't keep you on the job. What are the, expertise you need? You'll be using Excel, you'll be using PowerPoint, you'll be using PageMaker. And that's why I say every time I was at a university in Ottawa 2 years ago as a keynote speaker, and I'm saying, what graduates need to know? University alone cannot teach. That's the reality. It might not sound well to people in academia, but that's the reality. What they need out there is more than what the four walls of the university will offer. And we are introducing having a career placement unit, within departments and within the university. And this is how universities, the Yale, the Stanford, the Harvard of this world, they are building leaders for future. Some graduates will never have attended any interview before, graduation.
Very true.
So after NYSC, it's an interview. What should I do? And he
Now,
has never read. He has never read how to prepare for, or he has never discussed with a coach that can guide.
How easy is it to get a coach?
I'm a coach, and there are coaches. And
In terms of,
no, if you are on LinkedIn and you connect, we are talking networking, and it's not difficult to get a coach, but you must get the right, because there are coaches and there are coaches.
Okay. Let's say there are coaches and there are cockroaches.